The Morgan Report with David Morgan.
David Morgan of themorganreport.com. It is Friday, the 28th of January, 2022. Well, start off the stock market. Stock market has had a tenuous week, falling and rising. We are longer-term view. The stock market basis, the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ are all weak, but they're very oversold. Probably see a bounce here, but I don't think you're going to see a new high anytime soon. Could be wrong. The market knows more than me. Basis, the fact that all 300 and 200-day moving average, the NASDAQ is falling faster than the rest. The breadth is weak. The advanced decline line shows a lot more declines than advances. And there's a lot of sentiment that's questioning what the Fed's really doing, what they're saying. Are they going to follow up on what they're talking about or not? Uncertainty isn't good for any market, including the stock market. Side note on the NASDAQ, which is falling faster than the S&P and the Dow. It's very correlated to Bitcoin, by the way, so most people don't know that. So NASDAQ looks pretty messy on the charts. Again, all are under the 200-day moving average. I think that it's going to continue with a bounce and then further weakness, but time will tell. Moving on to the metals, it was not a good week, a bad week for both gold and silver. I think I'll just show the gold chart quickly. Well, I'll probably show the silver chart. Regardless, if you look at the 5 trading days here, we basically went from an 1850 level. Everybody, including yours truly, was pretty happy. We broke above the 1800 level back on the 18th of January and looked like we were going to go. We got a nice big move, $30 or so, and then went sideways for a couple trading sessions, another move up and excitement. And then, of course, as I just said, we had a big fall this week. A similar pattern in the silver market. The only thing about silver is it's bounced off. You don't see it on this chart. This is only 30 days, as you can see, but it's bounced off the 2150 level. Once or twice, once at least, I'm sure of. And that's held. Will it hold again? I don't know. Is it going that low again? I don't know. I have a hunch that's probably the low, but people have asked over and over again, how low can it go? The answer, no one knows. The most likely support level, if we breach that level, 2150, and stay there for a few days in a row, the most likely next support level is around the 1850 level. And it's possible. I do think the metals are going to surprise people. I think this will be a strong year, but it's going to have to digest what the Fed is saying, what the Fed actually does. Once that's digested by the market, then I think we're going to get a truer picture of what the precious metals will do this year. So I think there's some patience required here, but anytime I would say you're under 25 in silver and under 1800 in gold, US based, it's a good time to accumulate. If you look at gold and silver in any other currency, basically, you're happy as can be in almost any currency other than the US dollar. Gold and silver are pretty much doing their job. So that's something also to think about. I know most people watch this are North American based, but there's the rest of the planet. And believe me, if you're in other jurisdictions, you will be pretty happy to have had or established a gold or silver position. And here's an article on gold. This is really not taking into account what I just said. I mean, it's gold is shining, the stocks wobble, and cryptos melt down. And that was true as I showed you in the chart. And this is written on the 27th of January. So a little behind the times because, I'm doing this on the 28th. But gold was looking good, and it's obviously been whacked here. Will it bounce right back up or not remains to be determined. But a lot more interest in gold. By the way, there was a huge buy in the hedge fund community in gold that most people are not aware of. As you can see from this Bullion Vault article, gold ETFs and GLD expands most in 18 years, a stock market slump in face of U.S. Fed's inflation rate. So I don't think the story is over on gold. You're getting a lot of positive press and positive action, more important than the press. This came out on the 24th, and of course, as you know, the rest of the story, gold got hammered as well as silver this week. However, show me, don't tell me, this ETF, as it says in the headline. A lot of interesting inflows into the gold market. So again, I think a little more patience is required here, but don't rule gold out in 2022. Do not rule silver out in 2022. I think they are going to look quite good by the end of this year. I'm on the Twitter feed. I just thought I'd scroll down a few of these. I post most of these myself. There's some access by a couple others to this account, but almost all of these are me. Those other people do not post very often at all. If it's humorous, it's probably not me. Anyway, I posted this morning about the food situation and a lot of other things I post. I just want to scroll down here. Here's one that's important to me and to you, the gold standard Dow. Obviously, you can just click on that and get the full story on the gold standard Dow, creating a sustainable platform with dynamic taxation and a gold standard. You can read about it. This will be available to the public. And if you are on my mailing list, you will get that from our free newsletter. Another one that I brought to the attention of a lot of people is one that's, of course, causing controversy. A lot of people are saying this is BS. I'm saying it's from Barron's, and here's what they say. And it talks about, national security risk and all this. You can read the article. But it's kind of interesting to me. The White House aims to bring order to the haphazard approach that the government is now using to regulate crypto. Various agencies oversee the industry, including the SEC and the Commodities Futures Trading Commission. But there's no consensus on matters such as whether some of the tokens should be registered as securities or how to oversee exchanges, stablecoins, and high-yield lending products. So that's sort of the essence of the crypto markets. And they're claiming, according to Barron's, that this is going to be looked into / regulated / to make the determination if one's a security or not. And I watched a couple of videos before making mine. There's a couple pretty favorable to the crypto space, and I'm not against it. I'm involved with the Load project and have another crypto above and beyond that. But I do see changes. And I think that the crypto market's moving down rather than up until those changes are solidified. And what are those changes going to be? They're going to be more regulation. That's the way I see it. You can call this BS or not. I thought it was pretty interesting and obviously put on my Twitter feed. Another one on my Twitter feed from Ben Rickert, pseudonym obviously, is this video. I think it's worth watching. The weekend coming up talks about the agenda of the controllers, the New World Order, the WEF, whatever you want to call them. And he also, before I posted this one, I posted another one from him. Government's exit strategy, claim the pandemic is over, praise the vaccines and the vaccinated, hide jab injuries, quietly withdraw jabs, release small lots of truth to regain credibility, keep COVID available for future use, and transition to the new narrative that is economic collapse. His ideas, but I think it's worth considering. Another one for the silver people is Rafi Faber. Did a really, really good job on his wrap up for the metals. Talked about where we are and what the inflows are and where the money's coming from. And I really liked it. I put it up here. I actually want to have a chat with Rafi and tell him what I think of his work. I think it's very good. And compliment him and cover a few other things. So that's pretty much, I'm almost at 10 minutes. Just want to bring a couple of other things to your attention. So a couple other things to bring to your attention is this is on the blog. And I had a nice discussion with Stephen Gleason. And this has to do with the United States and what's happening in the gold, silver space on a legislation basis with the state legislatures. But there's different taxations in different states, and we go through that. And I will defer to Stefan, not myself, but it's worth listening to, especially a lot of people have questions of what the taxes are on precious metals at the state and federal level, and he pretty much covers it all. So I'm not sure how long it is time-wise, probably a half hour or so. But if you are interested, precious metals person, I would highly suggest that you do that. Take a look at it. And as I've said many times before, if you want to find our other channels, they're right here on the blog page. You can go to YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. We really don't have a presence on. And I'll push the book a little bit. The Silver Manifesto has its own landing page at thesilvermanifesto.com. We can sell it almost anywhere. I'm not able to get to the UK, Australia, New Zealand. Just can't. They send them back. Cost me more to ship them than the book costs, and we never get them there. So anyway, everywhere else, pretty much they do go through. And I did another interview with Daniela, and we did a new interview, but we also covered some old ground about the bail-in scenario. And when I did the one with her from my car, it got 1.4 million views. A lot of people are concerned about, bail in, and the way things are going with the Fed, who knows? It's on the books. It's law. Actually, they cannot bail out. They need to bail in. So is it going to happen or not? We don't know. And how bad would it be? We don't know, but it's something to consider. And as I've said many times, the easiest way to extract funds out of the bank without standing in line for a bunch of paper, which is very cumbersome and difficult, and you'll get a lot of pushback, is merely to write a check or wire and put some of the currency into real money. And if you're so inclined, I can help you with that, although I'm not a dealer. If you're at let's say at a large level where you're going to move substantial amount, you might get a hold of our contact page. So come back to the front page, I believe. And from the home page, the nav bar up here, the About, which I've talked about before, read the bio, but more important for new people, I still stress this Four Horsemen film, even though it's older. It's free. You can click through here on the website or just type it in, Four Horsemen film. You'll find it. And it's a good review of the cycles that take place. And we're in one now. It is the end of the Age of Empire. Things are transitioning. There will be a reset. Still to be determined how it's reset and who's in charge, whether the elites are going to control us or whether we rise up, push back, and form our own independent system or systems via, I'd say, many opportunities. Obviously, the blockchain's one that most people think about, but there are others that are possible. And so I just would, again, stress that you take a look. I think it relieves a bit of stress, and my take is this. It's happened before. Humans have always gotten through it. It's a time of great ingenuity, and stress usually causes action, sometimes negative and sometimes positive. But when you're under pressure, you're going to move. Again, it could be detrimental or it could be a positive. And on balance, it usually becomes positive. So that's my take. I'll leave it at that. I'll be back with you next week with another weekly perspective. This is David Morgan of themorganreport.com.